channel. I appreciate you watching this. If you're here for any kind of like gear related topic today, this is not the video you can click off. This is more of like an open forum kind of rant I want to put out here. I've been inspired to upload daily. I did 2 uploads yesterday, just little quick ones because I have things in my mind I want to share with you guys. And today where I'm at on things is, well, I want to give you a few updates. First of all, yesterday's video was the last video with the G7X Mark III. I returned it. The thing came autofocus to save its life, so it's gone. And today I'm recording on something different. I'll tell you in the end what it is. You might be able to tell already. I don't know. Hopefully it sounds okay. It looks okay. But I want to talk about something around the concept of photography for me and something that holds me back. What inspired this was Ted Forbes in the Art of Photography just uploaded a video today. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. He's doing his mail thing, but one of the people talked about not having enough time to do photography. And for me, that's kind of what I supplement, or why I get into gas a little bit, is I supplement my in-between times of actually taking photos with gear, tons and tons of gear. And what I realized is, or what I know to be true, is that the people that I have friends with that are good photographers, or I think they're good photographers, have a couple things in common. And one of them is any camera they use, they can make good images with. And they focus more on like the tonality and the form of the camera over like specs, which most of us have probably are interested in, frame rates and autofocus and all that kind of stuff. And the reality is any camera I gave some of these people, they would make images better than mine, or I would view them as better. And it's come down to a couple things in my mind. Now, one, there is a base talent that happens. Some people can just see things differently. They view the world in a different way. Or maybe their view of the world to me is interesting because I see the world in a different way. But the other thing is that they have a lot of experience with photography over the years. And they've really honed their mind and their eyes to see things in shadow and light, or in some kind of symmetrical composition, or in like, setting things up in the rule of thirds, all sorts of stuff. And I think that takes practice. And that's where I struggle a lot, is I don't have time to practice. I mean, the base of what I do in terms of photography is chasing my kids around because that's my life. And where I wish I was, which is a spawn of a lot of the gas stuff, is walking around like Thomas Heaton, right? Doing landscapes, or maybe doing portraits in some cool location somewhere, and traveling. And so a real focus for me is going to be on trying to see things and actually use the cameras a bit more outside of just chasing my kids around, even though that's very, very important. So as an example, I have coming soon for today, I rented, I didn't buy because I want to try it before I buy it if I go for it. A Mitakon 65mm 1.4 lens for the Fuji here, the Fuji GFX 50S Mark II. And I picked that lens for a couple of reasons. One, it equates to about the 50mm equivalent focal length that I like to shoot. It's the 1.4, so it's super fast and shallow, which I think is, I'm just going to be a little bit of a bokeh whore and see how that is. But it's manual focus, and it's not a very expensive lens. It was even cheaper to rent. So I'll use it for a little bit. I'm going to spend the next 7 days using it. I'm waiting for UPS to show up, and we're going to do that for a little bit. But my point is I'm going to spend that time because I've got 3 things coming up in the next 7 days where I can just spend some time with this camera off to my side here and actually do some photography and slow down with that lens. One is a kids-related thing this weekend. It's my brother's birthday, and the kids were like renting this golf simulator. I'm going to spend some time, and I'm going to try to practice seeing, getting that vision, noticing the light, capturing moments, that kind of thing, getting better at that. Right after that, I'm heading to Chicago with some people. I'll talk about that in a second, but I'm going to bring the GFX with me on that. Hopefully it doesn't get stolen. That'd be terrible. And then right after that, if things go according to plan, my daughter, who's on spring break, asked to go somewhere. So I might take her somewhere for spring break, and maybe that will be New York or something like that, just to show her something different. I don't know. New York's kind of sketchy lately, right? But we'll see what happens. So my point is I'm going to spend a lot more time trying to see. And that's in like these kind of urban, regular landscape or regular type of settings. I also want to separately go out and do landscapes. And that's why I bought this camera. Not to say other cameras couldn't do it, but I feel like, and I haven't played enough around with it, we'll see, but I feel like I'm going to love the output and the dynamic range I get from that camera. Now, as part of that, and this is something that's interesting to me, going to my YouTube channel, kind of switching topics, it's not lost on me that the YouTube algorithm rewards gear videos. It's a huge underlying, I don't know, accelerant for my gas, because it's like, ooh, I get something new. I'm excited to get it. I get to try it, try different lenses. It's content for the channel, whatever. And then more people come and they go. And I don't do it intentionally for that, to be honest with you, but it's almost like it rewards the cycle a little bit. But the other thing I like to do a lot is vlog. And I like to incorporate some of that. And when I made the video about, I don't know, a week or so ago, where I was walking around scouting, if you will, for landscapes on that one trail to see what was out there, when I told you guys I had switched away from the Olympus stuff and I was using Fuji, many of you commented and said, hey man, don't worry about the gear. It's not that. We're actually here because we enjoy your channel. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I want to incorporate more of the vlog stuff centered around photography or something that's happening, and then inject photos into that. And I know it's really hard. A lot of people go on YouTube and use it as a search algorithm or a search, what do you call that? I'm drawing a total blank right now. Like a search engine, thank you. A search engine to try and find things out. 10 tips and tricks for this, or 3 ways to improve that, or don't make this mistake. You see all these clickbait titles. I hate them. And I try to avoid them, even though sometimes I do it. But I also know a lot of the people in my audience don't love vlogs. They don't have time to watch someone go into the convenience store and grab a Monster out of the cooler. Like, I get it. So I try to chop up real fast, and I have a very Casey Neistat type of style to my editing. And that's not on purpose, because I enjoy his vlogs the most out of anybody's. I wish he'd come back to YouTube. You might not like him as a person. You might like him. I don't know, but I really do like him. And so I kind of wanted to do more of that on this channel as well. And I think focusing on the story and the outcome is key. And so that brings me to my third point for this video, is what's the end result of all of this? I even asked some of these people that are doing this like professionally on YouTube, what are you doing with your images afterwards? Now, some sell them, some make prints, some make books, some sell them, but what are you doing with it? And for me, what am I going to do with it? And so I have a couple things that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be building a website, or just like actually a blog. I might even just do it on Tumblr, kind of use that as a basis, real cheap, to put actual photos up and write little blurbs about it, and talk about my experiences, and then also talk about gear. It's kind of a blend of this YouTube channel, or what I want it to be, written form. On top of that, last year I did quarterly books of my family. Like I said, I chased my kids around a lot. We went on vacations. There was a lot of up and down with like the pandemic stuff. And I made these quarterly zines, and my wife actually came back and was like, I really want you to keep doing those. And to be honest, I would have had another one done right now, but they stole my hard drive, and a lot of the pictures were on there. So getting back into making those books about my family, but also focusing on one project. And I haven't figured out what that is yet. It's got to be around something that I can do on a regular basis, whether that's going out intentionally documenting, a 2-mile radius of my house, or if it's taking photographs of my family. One of the intentions of this was to make a book for my parents of the family, and I think the Easter time frame would be great because we'll be all together, make a portrait book. But the point is having an end result for my gear, because if you have an end result for the gear, then the gear becomes less important, less significant. The reality is, between the Fuji X-T3 that I have, which by the way I replaced my X Pro 3 with, and this GFX, and maybe an X100V, those 3 cameras fill everything that I need. And so I have no excuse not to pursue any of these things. And then the last thing is the gear in general. I have this lens coming, and it's a distraction in a lot of ways, even though it's a lot of fun. We all know that. So I'll be spending the next week shooting this camera with the Mitacon on it, thinking about the gear and whether I want to keep it or not. In reality, I should just subscribe to the fact that this camera is here for what its intended purposes are, and focus on the outcome of the project. I should be focusing on the vlog story I'm going to tell while I'm going to Chicago, and what images I want to capture at the same time. And so the gear stuff is a distraction, but I'm like anybody else. I love it. I love it, and it's hard to get away from it. And last but not least, I'll tell you guys what I'm recording on today. If it's not already apparently obvious, I got to do some work on it, but I've given up on the whole vlog thing. I'm going to vlog on one of 3 cameras. If it's mobile, out and about, it's going to be wet or whatever, it's going to be the DJI Osmo Action, just a little action cam. If it's going to be like walking, talking stuff out, it's going to be on my iPhone 13 Pro. This is what I'm recording this on right now. To improve with audio, I did buy the Shure MV88 microphone, which is recording me now. This is the windscreen for it. And then if it's a talking headpiece where I don't have to walk so much, or I'm behind the camera and I want better video quality, I'll do that on my Fuji X-T3. I have the 16.2.8 right now. Would I get to the 16.1.4 or maybe the 18.1.4 at some point? Maybe, we'll see. But that's it. I just wanted to get out and rant with you guys a couple things. What are your thoughts about like practicing your vision versus focusing on the gear? What are your thoughts on injecting vlogs? I know I've brought this up before, but injecting vlogs, and then for the people that are here, like using your camera, what's your end goal with it? Are you putting pictures on the wall? My house is full of pictures I've taken on the walls, many different cameras. So it's not a total waste. It's just a very expensive cost per picture that I've gotten into. And doing zines and books and that kind of stuff. So a bit of a rant. I'll do these at times when my head's full of thoughts. I want to share them with you. And I don't know. Does this iPhone video look okay? I know that I've got this messy background. I've got AirPods over there. I got delivered to some customers. I bought for them. I got a Canon box I got to return. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time.